Why your brain won't let you tickle yourself. Right now, your brain is actively preventing you from doing something. Something completely harmless, completely voluntary, and yet something you're physically incapable of doing. You can't tickle yourself, and the reason why reveals something deeply strange about how your brain actually works. Try it. Go ahead. Try to tickle yourself right now. Your ribs, your armpits, anywhere. Notice how it doesn't work. You feel pressure, you feel touch, but you don't feel that irresistible, involuntary laughter response that makes tickling so universally effective when someone else does it. Your brain has essentially built a wall between you and your own touch, and that wall exists for a very specific reason. But here's the thing that makes this actually bizarre. Your brain isn't preventing you from tickling yourself because it's smart. It's preventing you because it's trying to solve a problem that killed our ancestors. For millions of years, your brain needed to accomplish something that sounds simple, but was actually impossible. It needed to tell the difference between two completely different types of touch. Touch that comes from something dangerous in the external world, and touch that comes from your own body moving through space. A predator's claws versus your own arm brushing against your skin. A threat versus nothing. And if your brain got that distinction wrong, you died. So your brain developed a system. It starts the moment you plan to move. Even before your hand moves toward your body, your brain sends out a signal, a prediction. It tells your sensory centers exactly what touch to expect. Your finger is about to brush your ribs. Your brain prepares for that sensation in advance. And then, when the touch actually arrives, the sensory input matches the prediction perfectly. They cancel each other out. Your brain essentially subtracts expected sensation from actual sensation, and what's left is almost nothing. This is called predictive coding, and it's one of the most fundamental operations your brain performs. But here's what makes it genuinely unsettling. You can actually break this system, and when you do, something weird happens. Researchers discovered this in the early 2000s. They wired up a robotic arm to a delay. A human would push a button, and instead of the robotic arm tickling them immediately, there would be a 500 millisecond delay, half a second, and something remarkable occurred. That half-second delay was enough to confuse the predictive mechanism, enough to make the prediction and the actual sensation no longer align perfectly, and suddenly people could tickle themselves, not as effectively as someone else could, but noticeably, measurably, genuinely ticklish. The brain's prediction was wrong, and when predictions are wrong, sensations become salient. They become noticeable. They demand attention. This is why someone else can tickle you and you can't tickle yourself. It's not because their fingers are special, it's because unpredictability is the entire point. When another person tickles you, your brain can't predict exactly where the touch is coming from or when it's coming. It has no advance warning. The touch is novel, it's unexpected, and novel, unexpected sensations activate a completely different neural pathway, a pathway that produces that involuntary response. And this matters because it explains something about why we laugh at tickling in the first place. We don't laugh because touch feels good. We laugh because unpredicted touch feels important. It signals potential danger, potential threat, potential need to respond. And laughter, weirdly enough, is a social response to threat, which is why tickling is so socially bonded, why it's mostly something we do with people we trust, why infants engage in it with caregivers. Tickling is actually a form of trust testing. Your brain saying, I'm going to expose myself to unpredicted stimulus from this person, and if they abuse that, if they don't stop, then I've learned something important about their boundaries. And that's genuinely foundational to social bonding. But here's where it gets actually strange. This predictive mechanism doesn't just apply to tickling, it applies to everything, to all sensation, to all perception. Your brain is constantly making predictions about what it's about to experience, and the only reason you perceive a coherent, stable world is because your brain is essentially hallucinating that world based on predictions, and reality is just there to correct the hallucination when it's wrong. Close your eyes and move your head around. You feel movement, not because your eyes are sending the information, but because your brain predicted what you'd see if your eyes were open. Move your arm. You feel the movement not because of the actual touch against your skin, but because your brain predicted that sensation before it happened. The world you're experiencing right now isn't actually coming from your sensory organs. It's coming from your brain's predictions, and sensory input is just the error signal, the little message that says, adjust the prediction. This is why your brain won't let you tickle yourself. It's not a limitation, it's a feature. It's a reminder that the difference between you and the world around you is thinner than you think, and that your brain, every single moment, is doing something so computationally complex, so fundamentally sophisticated, that it makes everything we've built feel simple by comparison. And the only time you notice how powerful that system is when it breaks, when that half-second delay throws off the prediction, when someone else introduces unpredictability into your sensory world, when your brain gets it wrong. That's when you finally feel the sensation, not because it's stronger, but because your prediction failed, and failure for your brain is the only thing worth paying attention to.